Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm tired, no doubt. It's late, but I've been doing some stuff tonight, so just getting ready, getting set up for this next stage of my life. It's going to be awesome. I really think it is, and um, I've been waiting to get to this point. A couple of those vacations were for fun. This last one, it wasn't so much fun, but I still did what I had to do out there and set it all on fire. And then I met this girl last night. She was fine. I don't know how much y'all saw this chick, but like, I don't know what y'all can see. But she's totally fine, but she's kind of whacked out. And she's getting off of relationships. And plus, I try to tell women who I am, and unless they know me, unless they've been following my work, it just sounds very crazy. It's not easy to convert somebody in one night. I'll tell you that much. Um, but hey, this is the path I've chosen. So that's how it's gonna have to happen. Um, for me, it's about saving the world. That's the goal. I get women along the way, which I'm sure I will eventually. Sure, I'm gonna get some awesome ones. Anyway, all right. So let's start yesterday. The chapter from the Tao. Okay. This basically talks about not interfering with people. I always say that I'm never gonna make anybody change. They have to do it. At the same time, if somebody starts doing some evil stuff, I'm gonna say no, you can't do that, and I'm not gonna let them do that. I am always nice to people, and because I am, it's always a peaceful situation. Yeah, if you piss me off, it's a whole nother story. But to my face, mostly people are nice to me, even if they have a problem with me, evidently. But it's because even though I know what's going on, I don't go around with such a paranoid attitude that people think I'm a mean person. You know, I'm only mean when I have to be mean, but other than that, everybody knows I'm a nice, loving man. Um, I'm I'm considerate. You know. So anyway, that's that good spirit. And so I have set this up to where even my enemies, if they understand how to get along and they do what I tell them to do, get over themselves, um, we'll still be able to work together, even if we're diametric opposites, good and evil. Um, I'll still be able to make it work. Just like if I were to become president, since I'm not even part of a party, I would make Congress get along. Like if we didn't use my government, we had to use the shitty government that is in power now. I'd still be able to rule it. It's just all that stuff is easy to me. Somebody said to me, "Yeah, I wouldn't want to be the king. That sounds like a lot of work, But I'm just like, it's natural to me. I already know what to do all the time because I'm always thinking ahead 100 steps. Anyway, selection from the Quran, and we'll talk about this in a little bit. The selection of the Quran today. All of our things, people are things too. All of our possessions, all of our things are all tests for us. You know, we like to brag about this and that, but ultimately, everything we have is provided for us. We just don't really realize it. Even if you're making $1 million a year, you know, you might be buying up everything and having a good life, but you just have to still recognize the fact that you've been in that position in order to have what you have. So what are you going to do with what you have? You know? Are you going to squander it away? Doesn't mean you have to have a miserable life by any means. It's just, it's all a test to see what you do. All of your blessings, all of your children, all your possessions. Talks about faith here. Talks about how even if we're outnumbered, we still keep the faith and we will overcome. We'll win. I mean, if you need an example, just look at me. I've been a one-man army now for 1.5 years. Yeah, I've had people that I've talked to or whatever, but I mean, if you think about it, it's just been me against the opposition, you know. It's all about faith. You got faith and you can't be destroyed. There's no way. If you have true faith. And that's why I'm the proof. You know, I'm the evidence. I am the miracle, you know. Alright, the chapter from the Psalms. You know, a lot of times when we're going through doubt is so destructive, you know. Sometimes when we're going through those tests, we start doubting, you know. And so those thoughts in our head, you know, we're just like, are you doing the right thing? And then you start second guessing yourself and you're doing all this stuff when you just have to understand how to let that stuff go. And your enemy might triumph over you for a little while. You know, I mean, it might seem like you're getting whooped. But you just keep going. Keep going. Keep the faith. And you're going to be alright. Especially because you got me around. I'll always help you. But, you know, trust is almost unheard of these days. It really is. I mean, you know, people are like, okay, I trust you, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, people don't really trust each other, you know, and, yeah, I mean, it's easy to understand why, because of the way the world is. But if you can learn how to trust, if you can learn how to have faith, even through those tough times, and remember the goodness that you have gotten before, you're going to be alright. You're going to get through it. Solomon one, that's an easy one to understand. Everybody loves gossip, you know. It's dangerous. Because once people start gossiping, then they start lying, you know, to jazz it up, to make it sound more interesting. Now, it happens, you know. So it's better just to keep to the facts, if you even need to talk about it at all, you know. The Buddha one, clinging is like passion. It's like not being able to let go, you know, not practicing detachment. And it brings sorrow and fear. It really does, because you're worried about losing it, so it scares you, and it brings you sorrow if you have to let something go. So the more you can make like that kind of barrier between what it is that you might want to cling to or desire or whatever, it's easier to let it go if you have to. And you don't fear because you know it's not really that big of a deal anyway. So if you have to let something go, you know, and I know it's hard to believe, but like even if you have to let go of $1 million for something better, you know, for something you know is right, Even if you have to die for something that's right, you have to put your life on the line every day if that's what it takes. Otherwise, you're clinging to life. Not to say that life isn't sacred and important, but at the same time, are you letting your life get in the way of what you need to do? Got to be willing to give everything up. Everything. Jesus one. During his time, he was bringing the rules, but he was setting everything up for right now. And everything that's been preached will condemn people. When I was dropping off my daughter yesterday, it was tough and everything, but I told her, everybody's going to be responsible for what they do. Everybody's accountable for what they do. So you need to understand that you have to live a good life. You have to study wisdom. Now, I don't know how much she's going to do that, since she's not really forced to do anything she doesn't want to do, which is crap. But anyway, if you don't follow the commands, you are going to be held accountable for what you do. Well, even if you do, you'll be held accountable for the good deeds. And so Jesus even says right here, the other day I was talking about when people give these commands, it's not about a power trip. It's not about bossing people around. It's because these commands will help our society. There's a purpose for it. It's nothing to do with a power trip. Believe it or not, when I tell you to do something, it's for your own good. It's not because I'm looking for some kind of power play where I rule the world. I'm not even worried about it. I do rule the world. It's not something that I have to force, like I've been saying. Okay, so the section from the What God Doesn't Know chapter from yesterday just talks about how contradictions can happen, but contradictions will never happen outside of something that is, it won't happen outside of righteousness. Like as far as what God does, okay? As far as how the divinity works, or however you want to talk, or however you want to describe it. So it talks about the different ways of looking at things, the different perspectives, and then, yeah, here it talks about this metaphor about all of us climbing a mountain. I don't know if any of y'all have actually climbed a mountain before. But whenever you are, sometimes you look at the peak and you're thinking, oh, that must be the summit. And then you get there and it's like 100 more yards over the next summit. But then you think, oh, well, then you see something maybe 300 or 400 yards away and you're like, oh, that must be the summit. And then you get there and it still goes and goes and goes. We're all seeing different viewpoints. Okay? And it is truly that person that is on top of the mountain that can see everything that people need to listen to. And it's obvious when they're on top of the mountain because they can see everything. Even when people try to block their vision, they can still see everything. Okay, so let's go to today's lesson. Okay, selection from the Tao. I say this stuff all the time. I'm like, this stuff that I tell y'all to do it's easy to do. And I speak to you in such a clear way that like it doesn't matter. You can understand what I'm saying. Even if you're nowhere near the level of intelligence, I still break it down for you, I think, in a very good way. Easy to put into practice. All you gotta do is do it, you know, but it's the motivation. Motivation all the time. My words have an ancestry, my deeds have a Lord. But it's precisely because people do not understand this that they are unable to understand me. Okay. So, these commands that I give you, like I've said before, it's not me just making them up saying do this because I'm on a power trip. There's a reason for this. It's to make our world better. You want these listen to these fools that have no kind of backing at all as far as wisdom goes. It's stupid, and I've said before, it's the stupidest thing I've ever experienced in my life. Few then understand me, but it is upon this very fact that my value depends. You know, nobody's probably ever going to understand me. Hopefully, one day I'm going to find an awesome woman. Well, maybe I already have, but we'll see how that goes. I'm going to talk about last night. When you know who I'm talking about. Love of my life. I just made this awesome playlist. Anyway. Nobody might ever understand me. But they can get close enough if they practice and listen to me and, you know. So one of these days I'm going to find a woman that totally understands me and it's going to be awesome. But anyway, it's not even about women understanding me. It's just because my life is so awesome, right? And a woman is just all I need right now to make everything perfect. You know? But anyway, it doesn't matter who you are, male, female, whatever. Nobody can understand me. But it's because nobody can understand me, nobody can figure me out, that my value depends. Because I think of things that people don't think about. I understand things people don't understand. Leadership is easy for me. We've got all the answers. I know how to understand it. There's not going to be a person on this world who's going to be able to spring some kind of logic on me that I won't be able to comprehend. You know? And show them they're a fool if I need to. Alright, here we go. I want to remind everybody that when I put this stuff together, I do have a general idea of the direction it's going to go, but I always verify it randomly. So it kind of makes the lesson run into each other, kind of interweave, or however you want to look at it, dreamweave or whatever. I'm telling you this, if we get this going, if I have this worldwide tour, rock star life, but it'd be different than that, because I'd be a preacher, like, going around everywhere with this multimedia message. Or to have the worldwide network where we help anybody that has maybe even a flat tire, to homes that are being destroyed, to nations that are in conflict, helping the poor, using that science to develop ways for us to live forever, building spaceships. Anyway, all that stuff's going to take money. And like I said, all of my goals, everything has already been accomplished for me here on Earth. Everything else is just for the people, because my life is going to be good no matter what I do. I know how to live, you know, and nothing holds me back, and I can teach people some awesome things. So I'm good. But if people want this other stuff, I'm gonna need money to do that. Opposition and my enemies have done everything they can to try to keep me from any kind of source of income. Have you noticed that? And I'm not gonna lie to you. If I'm successful in doing this, I'm gonna have a nice house and a badass car, and I mean, I'm gonna live it up, but I'm not gonna go extreme, you know. And so I've got dreams, you know. Yeah, of course, I'd like my life to get spectacular. Have a queen, have a harem full of supermodel tattooed women, you know, or non tattooed, whatever, and just having sex all the time and preaching, doing my stuff on TV. Yeah, life's only gonna get better. And if I don't have all that, I'm gonna have a job, working at a warehouse or something, making some money. Money's not important to me. I don't care about it. It's not something that's gonna make me sad. So I can just exist, enjoy my life, help the people I can while I'm going through. But if this ever gets going, I guarantee you that anybody who loans me money will get double in return. My mom and my stepdad, when I moved out here, they helped me in that way. Because I knew I was getting some money, so I was just like, look, if y'all can help me now, I'll pay you back double. And I did. You can ask them about that. So that is my intention. I want to build this, but at the same time, I want those people who are willing to help to also get help. To be rewarded, not only get repaid, but get rewarded, for helping out. For understanding that what you have is provided to you. So anything you give in return is just giving stuff back, because it's not really yours to begin with. It's all mine. No. All right, so the Quran. It talks again here about how life is an illusion. It's all an illusion, folks. It's all a test, an attraction, a diversion to see how you're going to live your life. People want to say it's all about money, it's all about kids, it's all about success, it's all about this and that. Folks, it is about your spiritual life. It's about how you're going to live your life with all the distractions. And we got so many in this society, don't we? If it's not our own things, it's the hassles that people throw us through. It's all the games that the government and the corporations play, If you want to see through all of that stuff, if you want to see clearly, no matter what state of mind you're in, you listen to me and you do what I tell you to do. It's all an illusion, folks. You want to see the truth? Follow me. Do what I say. And you give me all your money. Just kidding. Okay, the Psalms one. This one, again, sovereignty of the Lord, of course. And it's going to be beautiful when we have this city built, right? It's going to be so cool, But it's going to be like a city that covers 2 states, all the way from here to the Pacific Ocean. It's going to be great. But even if it doesn't happen, whatever. Zion, the new Zion can be within us all. The kingdom of heaven is within. So, the kingdom of heaven is within us, but then we're God. Our God is within us, as the temples. So we are a city. whether we have any kind of like physical land or not, I want to build some. I want to have some land out here in Nevada. Have a mountain, hollow it out like NORAD. Have a fortress inside of it, and then a pyramid on top of that. And then I want to have a whole kingdom from here to the Pacific Ocean. I've got it all planned out. So it's all about meditation, folks. Within your temple, O God, we meditate on your unfailing love. That means within yourself when you meditate, because we are the temples. You know? I built this city. I'm not gonna say I built this city on rock and roll. No. There's some hip hop there, some classical music, and all kinds of music. I will always be your guide. Always. I'll put it to you this way. I've told you before that I don't die. But even if I do, nobody's going to kill me. If anybody kills me, I become a martyr. Right? If anybody tries to steal me away, everybody knows where I am all the time, So there's a pretty good chance that I'm always going to be around if you need help. Maybe not even direct help. Maybe just watching me do my thing on TV or whatever. But I've got it all figured out. There's just nothing that they can do to stop me. And there's just nothing you can do, folks. I wish you could understand it. You're just fighting yourselves. It gets ridiculous sometimes, doesn't it? Man, if a man digs a pit, it will fall into it. If he rolls a stone, it will fall back on him. This, of course, mainly means when people try to set people up, vindictively, when they try to get back at people, try to set traps for them, it recoils on them. It just goes to show that you always need to have that mindfulness. The actions that you're doing, are they right? Is that what you need to do? We're pushing on 30 minutes here. I'm trying to hurry up. And so give me a few more minutes. The Buddha one. It's awesome. This is what I try to explain to y'all, but it's inexpressible. When you can have control of yourself, okay, even when you're doing whatever, even when you're out in the world, even when you're tempted with so much flesh. I'm talking about women. Oh my gosh, last night. I've had these times, especially the past few nights, where I totally could have tore stuff up. But I have to go through this certain method. I have to go through this certain way because of the man I am, because I'm spiritual and I'm a preacher, I'm a religious man, so I always have to do things a certain way. But anyway, because I do that, I'm always rising, I'm always going forward. I'm always getting through it because I'm not making stupid mistakes. Even if I have to go without, at least I'm not making stupid mistakes. Because if I started making any stupid mistakes now, it would only make it worse for all of us. When you're in control of your senses, you've permeated your mind with the Spirit, you understand that it's not all about what you gotta have immediately. You understand that you gotta let things go. Even if they are so close, you could take it and keep it forever. How many times have I been in that situation lately, right? But if it's not right, it's not right. The Jesus selection here. You know, a lot of people give me a tough time for claiming that I'm God. If you have any kind of spiritual ideas at all, you cannot judge me for saying that. If you understand what it means to have somebody come to earth that is filled with the Holy Spirit, okay? Because the absolute form of God, if it touched this planet, it would blow up. So there's got to be agents. You know, there's got to be people that represent. And so there's no problem calling a person that has absolute authority God. Because it's ultimately just one thing. Now, when you start talking about gods and goddesses, then you've got a problem. Because that's starting to divide authority. There can only be one. There's only one source. Everything else is just inferior. Do not believe me unless I do what my Father does. But if I do it, even though you do not believe me, believe in the miracles, so that you may know and understand that the Father is in me and I am in the Father. This is the oneness here. This shows that anybody who comes down to earth is God if they are the Father, and they can prove it. But now I am the one of all of our history of mankind. God is here with you, living in this life, bringing you the new world. But you don't want to accept me because it's so weird. I mean, it's more than weird, right? It's like, what? God? Stephen Towner is God? He has all the answers for everything? What? This is turning into a whole sermon, isn't it? See, that's the dream I have for the Dream Mover Network. I don't want me to be like the center of attention. I want to preach for maybe 30, 45 minutes a day, and then have quality programming of all kinds for kids, adults, music channels, whatever. I've got it all planned out. Everything. I've got it all planned out because I'm God. Okay, the conclusion of the What God Doesn't Know chapter. This is basically talking about how everything is possible within morality. You know, it's important not to count anything. Let's play a leaky battery. Alright. Gotta make sure battery acid doesn't drip on me here. Okay, let me finish this up real quick. Read this again, like I said, these philosophy chapters. I've basically said what I needed to say in them, so you can read them a few times and get exactly what I'm trying to say off of them. Even if you're not really that smart, I've been able to break it down. So the whole point of this is to understand that anything is possible. Yeah, maybe God doesn't exist. Maybe God does exist. It's possible. I am that miracle. Like I said, I wrote this back in, say, 2006, maybe 2007. I will teach you how to become so powerful you won't even be able to fathom how you have changed your life. Because I teach you how to not give in to sin even when temptation is right in front of you. The only way we're going to find out if God is real is if we test it. And I don't mean testing God. I'm talking about living the life of faith. And that's why I've manifested into God. That's why I've transformed. It's because I'm living this amazing faith. And again, I talk about how bad doubt is. I don't believe in positivity. I'm not a positive guy. But I definitely know that negativity can bring you down. Doubting is just that. To me, positivity and negativity are all just distractions. But doubt is definitely a negativity that it will bring you down. And the only way you can keep away from that doubt is to practice. Keep that purification through the repentance and study and the prayer. Do the good deeds. Strengthen your understanding so your faith is strengthened. Maybe you don't believe in God. Still, get out there and do those good deeds. Strengthen your faith in what you believe in as an atheist. Because if you're sitting there preaching you're an atheist, then you should still believe there in the possibility of a God. But even if you don't, get out there and be a good atheist. You know what I mean? Quality. Be a good person. You do this stuff, you can get over anything. Any of the stereotypes they try to pin you down on, any of the archetypes that may try to start gaining power, even the chains of karma. You can rise above karma if you do what I tell you to do. You can do all things through the power of Stephen Towner. You can do all things through the power of the Dreamweaver. I created the Dreamweaver thing. And it's just funny that they try to use dreams against me, you know? It's like, it's the stupidest thing that I've ever experienced in my life. Do you want to evolve? Do you want a better world? Are you really satisfied? Like Bob Marley said, are you really satisfied with the life you're living? Come on, people, wake up. I've told you that my job, well, one of my jobs, is to wake up people before it's too late, before we have this nuclear war. I shouldn't say my job. That's one of my goals. Because I've said before, either way I win. Either way, before a nuclear war, y'all wake up and say, we need to listen to Stephen. Or there's going to be that nuclear war. And then afterwards, anybody who's left is going to be like, we should have listened to Stephen. This is just a waiting game for me. Keep doing what I do. Y'all either gonna wake up or you're not. Alright, we're going 40 minutes now. Alright, so yeah, from here on out, well, when I start getting in this routine, I'll get to where I'm posting the videos at the same time because I'll be working out and doing all this stuff, and then eventually I'll have a job. Some way to make money. However that is, righteously. Whether people start sending me money so I can build this church, or whether I have to work at a warehouse, you know, all I got to do is live my life, even if it's out here in the mountains. Eventually, you're gonna wake up before you become nuclear waste, or you're gonna say afterwards, Steven, you're right, dude. Sorry. And be like, whatever, alright, let's do it. Come on. Let's make the new world. Now the sooner somebody would come to me, Megan Fox, then we can have an awesome world. But it didn't have to be her. She's just the ideal, you know. But of course, some of you women know I've got my eye on you. It could be awesome. Totally cool stuff. And to my enemies, you're gonna burn in hell. Peace.